What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Duran Duran. And we're going back for another bonus tune from their 1990 album Liberty. Yo Bad Is Easy was the first one. There's one more after this, which is a remix of a tune already on the album. So yeah, I'm intrigued by what I've heard about this tune. Throb is the track we're going to listen to, and I believe Izzy was the one who mentioned that it sounds like a name or a title they give to a demo track that's still in development and then eventually becomes something else, and indeed, this track eventually became My Antarctica. So my understanding is this is essentially an early instrumental version of the tune that became My Antarctica, which is a very interesting track. I've listened to that one a number of times since doing that reaction. I like the sort of sonic atmosphere. I like the, I'm still sort of working on understanding the lyrics, and I have read what a number of you said. I know Ron commented on the lyrics in particular, but I do like this sort of relationship that sounds like, there's a desire there is passion there, but it's not perfect, it's not ideal. It sounds like there are promises that they haven't even made yet, which they know on some level they're not going to live up to. So it sounds, there's like a memory, a present, and maybe a projection of future kind of all going on at the same time. So again, I'm still sort of sorting through the themes of that one, but I really do enjoy that song. It's probably one of my favorites, if not, a contender for the absolute favorite from the album. I really did enjoy that. So I'm excited to hear this. And again, I enjoy their instrumental work. I mentioned it before. When Duran goes more instrumental, or when they have like a long instrumental section, there are times where I can maybe hear a bit of what I heard on So Red the Rose by Arcadia, and as I'm now coming to understand through especially Izzy, but a couple other people commenting on it as well, that there is a sort of sonic influence, a sort of musical connection between some of their more instrumental work and the Arcadia material and Japan, who Duran derives some inspiration from, as I'm increasingly beginning to understand. So yeah, big ups to Izzy, and big ups to all of you who've commented on not only Duran over time, but specifically, some of those connections that I just mentioned. I really do appreciate it. So let's get it. This is a bonus tune from the 1990 album Liberty. It is called Throb, and as I said, it's essentially an instrumental of My Antarctica, I believe, a sort of early working version of that tune. Burning ice. Feels exotic, feels we're out among the elements. So many little percussive rhythms. Dum, 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 dum. It's kind of like a string melody. There's like a sharp sort of synth. It's not easy to write music this sort of down tempo and ambient It's weird. I keep going to sort of like colder, icier themes because of the phrase "my Antarctica," but it sounds jungle-esque. There's like woodpecking birds and sort of insect sounds. Sort of a land that time forgot sort of feel. Someone who only knows Duran through their hits, like, again, Rio and Hungry Like the Wolf, you played them this, and you were like, oh, by the way, that's Duran. They'd be like, what? Surely not. And it's not even that many years away from those hits. I love it. That's cool. It's a different feel. It's a different flavor. In that articulation, and again, maybe part of that is because my brain is not filtering the sounds through the prism of the phrase "my Antarctica," or that when I do a listen to a tune, with lyrics for the first time, I'm often trying to catch what I can, and to a certain degree, paying attention to the lines. So maybe the way that the sonics hit me a bit more immersively in this one is due to the mere fact that my brain isn't distracted, so to speak, by paying attention to the lines and to the sort of sung vocals. But very cool. I enjoyed it a great deal. It's again one. I think that track could have worked by itself, as an instrumental on the proper album. But I also respect that it was developed into a more full and indeed, lyric/vocal. Included sort of version. So yeah, that was definitely cool, though again, I suppose in light of my Antarctica, I understand why this then became sort of an early version of the tune that was not then included on the album, but I think it's good enough to be on a studio album, is I guess the point that I'm making. But yeah, shout out to them. Again, it's amazing to me, because if you had told me like maybe 4 or 5 months ago that, hey, I'm going to have you listen to a Duran tune, it came, like early 90s, right at the end of the 80s, you'll probably know what it sounds like, right? And be like, oh, sure, I remember Rio, I remember Hungry Like the Wolf, and I remember, Ordinary World, so maybe, I'd have some idea that it could be a little bit different from their big hits of the 80s, but yeah, I would have been like, wow, like I did not know Duran made music like that. So again, now that I have a bit more of a sort of a journey having been taken, I can look back and say, yes, it makes perfect sense within the larger context of their work. But just it's giving someone this with only a minimal amount of exposure to Duran, I think would be a very interesting thing. Nevertheless, do let me know what you think of this version. Thanks again to Philip and all the people who shared music with me. This one in particular comes from the double deluxe version of Liberty that he shared with me. So once again, big ups to Philip. Do let me know what you think of the tune. I'll see you next time. Peace.